Good evening. Calling the East Brunswick Township Council Agenda Action Meeting for July 8, 2019 to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Councilman McAvoy.
Here.
Councilman Spadafino.
Here.
Councilwoman Sullivan.
Here.
Councilman Wendell.
Here.
Council President Stanley.
Here.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required under Chapter 231, Public Laws 1975, specifying the time, date, location, and to the extent known the agenda, by posting a copy on the Municipal Building Public Notice Bulletin Board located in the main lobby, providing a copy to the Home News, Tribune, and Sentinel newspapers, posting a copy on the Township's website, and by filing a copy in the office of the Township Clerk in accordance with the certification which will be entered in the minutes.
Thank you. Moving straight to the public hearing portion of the meeting, can I get a motion for ordinance 19-18 to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of East Brunswick Township, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 3, Section 80, compensation retainer and non-retainer services of the revised general ordinance of the East Brunswick Township?
Motion to adopt.
Motion by Councilman Wendell,
I second it.
second by Councilwoman Sullivan. Open this to the public for any discussion. Seeing none, I will close the public portion. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Perry, please call the roll.
Councilman McAvoy.
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilman Wendell.
Yes.
Council President Stanley.
Yes. Can I get a motion for the following ordinance 19-19, authorizing the granting of a long-term tax exemption and the execution of a financial agreement with 39 Edgeboro Road Urban Renewal LLC regarding Block 834, Lot 34.11, 39 Edgeboro Road?
Motion to adopt.
Motion by Councilman Wendell,
Second.
second by Councilman Spadafino. Opening this to the public for discussion. Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, closing the public portion. Discussion, Councilman McAvoy.
Thank you, Council President. Mr. Baker, could we get one final synopsis or epilogue to the details of the ordinance for the general public?
Absolutely, Councilman. This is a pilot agreement, a long-term agreement for 30 years, which requires the developer to pay a minimum square footage payment or 12% of their annual gross revenues. It's per the long-term tax exemption law of the state. It's the way that municipalities throughout the state, and actually many throughout the country, are attracting businesses to the township. It allows a reduction in the overall tax payment by the developer, but it is a much larger tax payment that comes to the township as the township portion of it. As we discussed at the last meeting, there were two revisions that Councilman Wendell had discussed. One, that its agreement would be effective upon the execution of the redevelopment agreement, and that is very close to happening. The other is that the 2% of the annual service charge would go, which is about $14,000 a year, would go to the redevelopment agency. And then just recently, as I was mentioning just before the meeting started, the redevelopment agency has been able to negotiate a $100,000 increase in the payments from the developer. That will likely go through the redevelopment agreement, but it may also be an increase in the first 3 years of a total of $100,000 in payments to the municipality. That detail will be worked out.
Once again, Mr. Baker, thank you for your expertise in land use.
I want to thank everybody here for their continued support of the redevelopment agency, and this is our inaugural project that's getting kicked off, and we're very excited to see it happen. I think the mayor's very excited to see it happen. It's definitely a win-win for the taxpayers of East Brunswick, and a good, quick starter project for the redevelopment agency to boost revenues and get redevelopment really started in East Brunswick. So, and as Mr. Baker said, this agreement will only become effective once the redevelopment agency executes a redevelopment agreement with the developer.
And just by way of order of magnitude, it's a roughly $750,000 increase, $750,000 annual payments to the town, which is $400,000 approximately more than the town is getting now. And it escalates to about $1.5 million towards the end of the 30-year period.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Sure. Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Can I get a motion for the following ordinance, 19-20, providing for various school capital improvements in and by the Township of East Brunswick in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey pursuant to the shared service agreement with the East Brunswick Board of Education appropriating $14,600,000 thereof and authorizing the issuance of $13,870,000 bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof. Can I get a motion?
Motion adopted.
Motion by Councilman Wendell, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Spadafino. Opening up to the public for public discussion. Seeing none, closing the public portion. Any discussion on council? Councilwoman Sullivan?
I know, Mr. Baker, you were kind enough to explain this 2 weeks ago to us, but could you again explain it for the benefit of the residents?
I'll let the business administrator.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
What we've entered into is a shared service agreement with the Board of Education, and as you know, we're trying to look at things for the best for the taxpayers of the township. What this shared service agreement has allowed us to do is actually go out and bond money for the school system to make purchases at a much lower rate than they could probably finance it on their own without them having to do all the legwork. In this particular situation, we are borrowing money for them so they can make some capital improvements or capital purchases. In this particular case, they're looking to put a new roof on Churchill Junior High School, upgrades to the stadium light at the high school, some security upgrades in several of the schools, some facility upgrades and equipment upgrades, as in trucks, snow removal equipment. They're going to purchase 5 new buses for the transportation division and various other classroom furnishings as well. So what the township has done, and in a true spirit of cooperation, is to work with them. We got an excellent bond rating. We have low interest rates. And just keep in mind, in theory, what happens is the revenue that we collect that goes to the Board of Ed, this will just come back to us to pay for the note. So we're making a loan on their behalf, and they pay back the loan, including all the carrying costs and so on.
And all the cost of issuance. It's a policy the town's had in effect for a long time, and over the years, it saved the taxpayers millions of dollars.
Oh, that's important.
I'd just like to say, I mean, it's a terrific example of good government. It's something, as Mr. Baker has been saying, that this body has been doing for several years, long before I was here. And it's something that comes before us on a regular basis and saves the school board money out of their budget on an annual basis rather than the interest costs that they would seek and have on top of this. So, you know, this is a no-brainer when it comes to business that we do.
And as a point of clarification, the schools generally do 5-year notes.
Right.
And so what they'll do is they'll pay down those notes over the 5-year period of time. And so it's almost as if it's a revolving line of credit. They'll, at the end of 5 years, they'll take out a new one from the one they just paid off. For folks that are looking at our financial statements as a town, 2/3 of the town's debt structure is actually money that is used through this shared service arrangement and is really school debt. So the fact that we have such a good credit rating, when we go to the credit agencies and have to report what our debt is, knowing full well that 2/3 of it is actually school debt, I think is a testament to the management and the conservative approach that we have to borrowing, that our debt levels and our debt ratio is so low that we still manage to get the best credit rating despite the fact that 2/3 of our debt is school debt.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Perry, can you take that roll?
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Moving on to the reports portion. Any reports from our mayor tonight?
Thank you, Council President. A couple of quick things. First, I want to thank all of the Parks and Rec Department and our Public Safety Department for another banner year with our 4th of July celebration. Again, I think we topped 10,000 people, and despite maybe one or two people on Facebook complaining about difficulty getting out of the parking lot, which is predictable since 10,000 people are all leaving at the same time from 2 exits. But at the end of the day, it was a beautiful day, and it was a great time, and they did a spectacular job, so they deserve the credit, and so I want to publicly thank them. I also wanted to remind people that we have a East Brunswick Arts Coalition that is helping to raise funds through public donations and from grants from corporate donors to try to help support arts, Human Relations Council, our Historical Society, Arts Commission, and Playhouse 22 here in the town. And their first big project that they're helping support and raise money for is the Summer Stage Under the Stars, which is our version of Plays in the Park that they do in Edison. Should have done that. And we're going to be doing a production of Footloose, the musical, which will be the 25th, 26th, and 27th, the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of July, and the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, which is the first Thursday, Friday, Saturday in August. It'll be starting at 8:30 at the Community Arts Center. Bring chairs, bring picnic tables. Just enjoy yourself. It's the same $7 cover charge that they have for Plays in the Park. There will be food trucks that will be there, so people who want to go out and eat, reserve their spot ahead of time will have opportunities to get something to eat. And we will also be doing, in conjunction with that, our economic development officers arranged to do a what we are entitling Feast Brunswick. Since we are East Brunswick, it's going to be Feast Brunswick, and that's our version of Restaurant Week. And we'll be putting up on the website and advertising those participating restaurants who are offering discounts or free services for some of their dinners, and try to coordinate that with still getting to the Footloose show. The town halls that I've been doing, I think I lost count how many I've done. I think there's about 13 or 14 that I've done so far. Just really finished yesterday. I'm going to hold that off in the summer and start up again in the fall when there's hopefully more information to share with the public. But we did record one of them, and that's going to go out for the public to view on the Township website. So it's last about 50 minutes, but I strongly encourage anybody who really wants to understand what's going on and not get their information from social media, that if they want the background on how we got to where we are and where we are at this point, that would be I think a worthwhile exercise of their time. And then finally, I wanted to mention that we are having a promotion ceremony for all of the police officers who will be moving up in rank. As I mentioned earlier, we have a new police chief starting on August 1st. That's Lieutenant Frank Lasacco, who will be assuming the role of chief. And as a result of retirements that were predicted, there's going to be close to 20, possibly 24 promotions within the department. And that's going to be held at the Joanne Magistro Performing Arts Center on the 31st of July, which I believe is a Wednesday, but check on that, I'm not sure. And that's going to be at 6 o'clock at the Performing Arts Center with light refreshments being served afterwards. So the entire town, we will not have seen that level of promotions, I don't know, I think in a generation. So I think it would be a great opportunity for the public to come out and meet their new command staff and officers, and we want to share that with the public. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. From our town administrator?
Nothing this evening, sir.
Thank you. From our director of law?
Just one thing, it's a request for an added starter on the agenda tonight with regard to a name change on a roadway. The family of Alan Landis, the developer who built Loman's Plaza and the Tower Centers, reached out to the town a couple of months ago. Mr. Landis unfortunately passed away last year, and the family was looking for a way to permanently honor what he had done during his career. And they thought East Brunswick would be an appropriate place for that because his first development in his career was the Loman's Plaza Shopping Center, and one of his largest developments was the Tower Center. So the family asked if we could rename Tower Center Boulevard, which Mr. Landis named in the first place, to Alan B. Landis Tower Center Boulevard, similar to the way Civic Center Drive is also called Gene Walling Civic Center Drive. The family of Mr. Landis offered to pay for any signs or any expenses that the town might have.
Thank you, sir. From our town clerk?
Just one item under the consent agenda, item E, the attorney has asked that we pull that till a later date.
Thank you.
The liquor license holder's attorney.
Yes.
Yeah. Not me.
Any reports from council, committee members? Councilwoman Sullivan?
I just want to remind everybody that we have Acoustics Monday. This Monday we had Bob Denson. Next week we're having Ben Collar. But every Monday throughout through August 19th, we'll have an East Brunswick musician. And also the VFW is having their annual 5K run on July 28th. And you could sign up. You could go down to the VFW hall, or you could sign up online. Up until the 20th, I believe it's $25. After that, it's $35. It's a good time to be had by all after the run. And it's at Heavenly Farms.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yeah, Council President, with regard to the comments made by Mr. Baker, I feel that any dollar and cent signs that we accumulate should not be dumped on the Landis family. I know he mentioned that in his report, so I hope that we can incur those dollar and cent signs and not give them to the family. On July 3rd, the East Brunswick Water Advisory Committee met, and in review, the committee reviewed and discussed the complaint logs. The complaints were about smell and taste, organic residue, and low pressure, all as a result of the hydrant flushing that was going on during the month. Water production reports were reviewed, nothing new there. Water maintenance reports were reviewed, and Mr. George Smith stated that the decrease in water main breaks is due to the warmer weather. Mr. Losick informed us that in the past they have hired students during the summer to paint the fire hydrants. Another option he talked about was to hire retirees to work part-time, as they are already familiar with the various systems. It was pointed out that there was an increase in markouts due to the PSE&G upgrading their gas lines, and it was mentioned that currently only one employee is performing markouts, and it is a time-consuming process. Hydrant flushing was discussed, and the entire town was flushed during the 5 weeks that was cycled. The township is divided into 10 zones where pressure zones were set up. Each hydrant must be checked every year. Each 2 years, each valve over 12 inches must be checked, and every 4 years, all other valves over 12 inches must be checked as well, and all work was completed satisfactorily. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Moving on to our public, oh, sorry. Councilman Spadafino?
Our last planning board meeting, we approved a plan for Planet Fitness to move into. Mr. Crisoli, you'll have to remind me the name because I only can remember it as Movie City Shopping Center.
I call it the Brothers Shopping Center because of the pizza place, so I'm equally as guilty as you, so.
What is that shopping center actually called now?
Burger King.
Movie City 5. It used to be the Movie City 5.
Yeah, it used to be the Movie City 5, shopping center, and that was approved, and they will be proceeding with fitting it out, and they want to open by the fall, apparently.
I've already started.
$2 movies on Wednesday night.
And you can exercise at the same time.
Good. Thank you, sir. Moving on to our public portion. Seeing no one in the public, close the public portion. Moving on to a consent agenda. Is there anything on consent agenda that anyone wants to separate?
Include this.
Other than item E.
Other than item E?
That has to go into new business.
Seeing none, can I get a motion for the following items A through D, and items F through M?
Motion approved.
Motion by Councilman Wendell. Can I get a second?
Second.
By Councilwoman Sullivan. Ms. Perry, please call the roll.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Moving on to new business, can I get a motion for the following? 16643, authorizing the Township of East Brunswick to rename Tower Center Drive to Allen B. Landis Tower Center Drive.
Motion adopted.
Council President, Tower Center Boulevard. Sorry, I corrected it and gave the
Tower
copy to the
Center
clerk
Boulevard.
and
Yes.
instead of giving it to you.
Allen B. Landis Tower Center Boulevard.
Correct.
Motion approved.
Motion by Councilman Wendell.
Second.
Second by Councilman McAvoy. Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Moving on to the good of the cause. Anyone for good of the cause? Anything tonight?
How about the U.S. women's soccer team?
Yes.
Yay.
Yay. Saw it. Start to finish.
Right?
I'm going to be there on
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
You are?
I'm
Great.
going to be at the theater, though.
Okay,
So I'm going
take
to
pictures
go
of the
downtown
parade.
uptown.
Just one thing that we've asked Ms. Perry to mention often about the garage sale signs. This weekend when I came around, there were a couple, so please, again, remember that posting on telephone poles, et cetera, is not allowed, and that if you post a sign that's freestanding, that it must be removed within
3 days.
3 days of the garage sale ending.
There's also a link on the website that gives them more information, but yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none?
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night.